Greetings, everyone. Happy Monday. How are y'all doing today? So good to be here. I am the Moon Mama, and we are currently in Leo season with a retrograde that's happening. What an incredible time it is. What an intense time it is. What a profound opportunity we have right now, because we're in such a very new energy that it's easy for people to be sort of dumbfounded or confused about what's really going on, because the world is looking very chaotic right now. But the world is just in a natural destruction cycle. That's all that's happening. And what I am discovering for myself is that because I understand to the degree that I do what's happening in our reality, I'm clear about where to put my attention. I'm not as surprised by what's going on in politics. I'm not surprised by what's going on in the world, so I don't have hardly any conversations, very few conversations that are about what's happening in the world, because I know that the world is in a destruction phase right now. And so I'm putting my attention on how to use this energy to serve me. How do I use this energy in a way that will work for me? Because that is what we're here to do. We're here to learn how to manipulate energy on our own. And because we have had 9-to-5s, all of our energy has been commandeered into systems, structures, beliefs, and ways of being that take us away from our natural way of being. And so many of us are like this. I'm learning to do this. This is not something that I have always done. I just have always been really sensitive and felt that something was awry. Something was coming undone. Something was going on that was not being talked about. And because I could feel that, I started studying and going, okay, what the hell is happening? And now we're in the fulfillment of the thing that I could feel all my life. I could always feel that, oh, this reality is false. Don't believe anything you think. A few years ago, I did a podcast that I titled, Forget Everything You Think You Know. Like, I have always sensed that is what was true. And so I started preparing, I started studying, I started researching to understand further how to affirm what I was feeling, but then also how to act on it, how to take the actions that will actually be beneficial to me. And what actions I was directed to take was to shift my internal world, change my internal compass, rewire my internal perception into one that is more organic. It's like, rather than believing in the Gregorian calendar, I'm going to practice believing in the natural calendar, and in doing so, drive enough energy in my own system that cuts me away from this old reality that doesn't serve me. Even while it appears that I am in it, I am actually not of it. It's the biblical story where they say, be in the world, but not of it. And that is what I started doing probably really directly when I turned 47. So that's been, almost a decade now. And where we are today now is there is a new reality here entirely. And the question is, how are you experiencing it? How are you experiencing yourself? Are you still carrying old behaviors, old codes, old narratives? If you are, no judgment. But it is your responsibility to recognize, I still have an old code running me. And how do I come into a relationship with this in a new way? How do I shift my perception about this? How do I recognize the value of this? How do I, right? And it could be a shadow. It could be like right now I am currently facing, I will say that, gosh, I mean, I've been doing this work all my life, y'all. All my fucking life. And when I tell you I have carried an interesting shadow, everybody does, but I have carried a shadow around value. And it has been a thorn in my fucking side. It has been a thorn in my side. And I am deeply grateful for it. I'm deeply grateful for this incredible lesson that has walked with me. This shadow that has walked with me. Because I have had to learn some really incredible things about what it means to really be a person, what it means to really be connected to myself and to love myself based upon just me, without affirmation or things or what the world says was valuable, not having, it's been a very interesting life not having access to money in the ways that our culture sort of utilizes money. So because I didn't have money, I didn't have insurance to go to doctors, so I learned how to heal myself, because I didn't have money, and, I have learned how to eat in ways that are really sustainable and healthy, because I couldn't go and, spend money eating out. Like, I've had to really learn how to be intimate with my body and herbs and healing myself. And like, I've had to learn things that would support me, that money would have allowed me to sort of disconnect and hire somebody else to do it. And that has been beautiful. That has been a really valuable thing. And it has been tremendously vulnerable. I have had to be very honest and clear with my resources, my energy, my time, the people, because I have had to learn how to honor my energy in a unique way. I have had to learn that the things that are for the world are not for me, and they're not for me because I haven't had access to them. But I still need health. I still need food. I still need, right? And so I have really learned to cultivate creativity so that I could find ways that are valuable to make money. I have, and so the tools and the resources that I create in being here is because I have studied long and hard, and I have learned about the world as it is now and created tools and resources to help people out of my own yearning to survive. On some level, it has been born out of a need to survive. It's, what that thing they say, need is the mother of creation, or something like that. And that is where I have created my tools from. Like Black people who created blues music. Blues music came from a deep experience of pain and suffering and survival. Those are my tools, my coaching, all of that is born out of the blues that I have experienced, so that I could learn that I can survive here. I have something valuable here that isn't what is marketed and packaged, and I have something that I've cut from the cloth of my soul. And so that is where, when you guys come to listen to my videos and coaching and all of that, it is because I have been, holding on to the hem of spirit saying, okay, what are we going to do this month? Because things need to get taken care of. And what shall I offer? What shall I create? And that has been, it has been a breathtaking, I have walked on the edge. I have walked on the edge of life all my life. And I have resisted it most of the time. It has been so scary and agonizing and painful. There have been profound moments of deep beauty and transformation and creativity that I have touched, and the work that I get to offer to others now is deeply transformative. Oh, but this has been a journey. This has been a journey. And it's starting to culminate now, because what we have been doing now for the last 18 or 19 years is beginning to manifest. And so where are you in your own creative process? Where are you? You know, we're in this Mercury retrograde right now. The moon is currently going into Capricorn. It might be in Capricorn already. But the sun is still in Leo at the 12th degree. And, you know, the 12th degree, like, I have created rituals for every aspect of creation that I have to interface with. I have created rituals because what I have discovered is that I cannot access reality in the ways that the Western world says you do it. I access reality through ritual, through devotion, through understanding oneness, through connecting to nature. And so I have created ritual for everything. And while the sun is in Leo, my ritual is about really being in my truth and being authentic and being creative. And so that helps me mine, like transform, alchemize. That helps me speak to spirit. That helps me love myself, nurture myself, honor myself. What does it look like? It looks like cleaning my house. It looks like, fasting and loving my body. It looks like washing my hair. It looks like really honoring who I am. It looks like, honoring the inner child inside of me, and dancing and music and the things that I really, really feel nourished in. It looks like that. It looks like creating rituals for my clients and, giving them resources and tools to support them. It looks like the work that I do with the Daughters of the 13 Moons, where I hold the structure there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hold the structure in the background so that the women understand what energies are present and how to work with them on a daily basis and begin to embody it and integrate it so that it becomes a real thing. Because as we move out of the old world, which has been mental, which has been one that is based in thought, and the mind can only go to the history or to fear. Like, the mind is not in real time. The mind is going on, oh, that happened, so we should do this. Or, these are all the possibilities that could fuck us up. That's what the mind does. And that's the world that we have been in. That's the world that we created. And now we're coming into a world where it's truly based in our relationship to spirit, which is invisible. You cannot see it. You cannot see it with your eyes in the ways that we have been conditioned with this mind to think, right? So it's something that has to be much more felt, has to be much more experienced, and that is not a logical thing. And so much of my work has been letting go of logic, because logic is not going to help in these. Oh, God, I feel myself getting dizzy talking about it. Logic just doesn't serve. Logic can only take us so far. So the feminine is this inner work of learning how to use your imagination and learning how to feel into your body and activating your sensual power and nature and, and community and music and It's all of these the feminine is all of these very subtle, often unspoken things that can, in this age of what I like to call the Kali Yuga. I don't call it the Kali Yuga, it is the Kali Yuga. But just to inform us who have Western ways of thinking, we don't understand that we are living through a season, a cosmic season right now that is called the Kali Yuga, which is the Dark Ages. We have been here, it's been going on for 24,000 years in the Dark Ages, and it's just ending now. It's ending now. We are the humans who are here alive at this time who are going to begin to build the new age, the golden age, into the age of Aquarius. So imagine when you are in something that is at its most destructive level. That's the Kali Yuga, at the darkest time. And we look at the world that we're in and we see it. Darkness everywhere. Darkness is pervading us. And that is the greatest opposition, which means that we have the most power now, because the duality is stronger than it would be at any other point in the darkest time. When we have the most dark, we also have the most capacity to access light. But you must accept the darkness. You must love your own darkness. You must honor your own shadow. You must be unequivocal about the wholeness within you. And if you've been listening to my video for the last couple of days, I've been talking about how we have to know that oneness is the key here. Oneness is the key. The year, and when 2016, when I voted for Trump, I really was able to really start to harness freedom, because I had an idea in my consciousness that white men were evil and more powerful than me. And so I was like, I have to meet this shadow. I have to recognize that this is just a barking dog that has no power. And I voted for Trump, and I really saw myself realize, like, this shit don't have no power in my life at all. And with that, I stopped voting. I was like, oh, I'm giving power away. I'm giving energy away. I'm casting my pearls upon swine for voting for this thing that says somebody has my power. Somebody's going to do this on my behalf. And so that's an illusion. It's not real. It's not real. This American system is an illusion that we have agreed to. We have bought into it, and how we participate in it is through our energy. We vote. We vote. We listen to it. We believe it. And this is what I mean. It's like there was a time when I would vote thinking this vote is going to make a difference in my life. And then I would vote and be like, this ain't making a bit of difference. And then, 30 years ago when I was in school, we were protesting and doing all this stuff. And then I'm like, 30 years later, these kids are still doing the same thing. Why? Because it's not meant to change. So if it's not meant to change, why am I trying to change it? Why am I even, if it is a system and a cycle that continues to realign itself every generation, then why would I use my energy for that? Because it's not doing anything. So let me go do what I actually want to do. And that was the thing. And here I am in Los Angeles, and it's like, there's narratives about ICE and all of these things going on, and none of that is my reality, because I don't engage in it, because this is an energetic system. So where I put my attention, energy goes. So if I put my attention on the lack and the chaos and the politics, then I will experience that at some level in my own life. Even if it's just the worry, I'm inviting it in. It is an invitation. It is saying, oh, I'm thinking about you. I'm opening the door. Come be with me. I don't want that. So I don't engage it at all. I desire a new world, a new reality where humans are co-creative and aware and conscious and working with each other and the earth and loving themselves and nurture. So if that's what I desire, I must put my attention there. And I'm going to spend as much time in the reality that I desire as possible. I'm going to put as much energy through my meditation, through my imagination, through my creations, through my conversations, through my thoughts, through my choices, through my purchases towards the world that I actually desire. You know, and so in practical ways for me, it's things that I do, like I don't shop at grocery stores. I shop exclusively at farmers markets. Why? Because the local farmers are supporting the world that I desire. So I shop with local farmers markets. That means that there are things that I don't eat because you can't find them at a farmer's market. And there are times when I do want other things, and I will, occasionally I will go do something like that, but it is not necessarily my way of life. I really have become very deliberate, and it's not a hard thing. It's I've done it over time. I've released ways of being over time. There was a time when I'd had my child that I was on Social Security, welfare, food stamps, all of that, because I had a child with special needs. I was completely locked in the system, literally. And I remember thinking, this is not enough money for what is required. Like, maybe they're giving me $300 in food stamps, and I have to report it all the time, and I can't make any other money. So I literally was like, how can I make more money? Because this will trap me. Like, it's like, for you to get these $900, you can't make any money over $1,100 a year or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, really. And so I had to get clear. Like, what am I saying? What am I doing here? Like, what am I giving my energy to? Am I going to feed that system, or am I going to feed the reality, the dream that right? And so slowly I was like, okay, no more Social Security. No more, like, literally, it was like, I'm not going to use any of this stuff anymore, because I'm going to design a life that is true to who I am. And that has not, and I've done that in many ways. I've been the woman who was like, I could marry a man who has a lot of money. But is that going to be valuable to me? Ultimately, will me having access to his resource be valuable for me? Or am I going to have to trade the thing that's really valuable to me? And I always determined that I was going to be trading the thing that was really valuable. Autonomy. I want to be autonomous to do with my energy, my time, what I want to do with it. I don't want to have to be the wife who's cooking dinner for dinner parties, or I don't want to be married to somebody who works for a big corporation making millions of dollars, and I have to behave a certain way because he has an image to uphold. I want to be in control of my image. I don't want someone else's reality to be in control of me. And that has come at a high cost. That has come at a high cost. And when I was making those decisions were very spirit-led. I did not know, because it's one thing to make a decision, but then it's another thing to live it. And what I was having to live was a whole lot of faith. A whole lot of faith. Do you trust? Do you have faith? Do you believe? We're going to give you a signal. Are you listening? Are you paying attention? And that has been some kind of journey. The journey that I have lived, I would not tell anybody else to live it. I would not. It is mine. It has been my chosen journey. There are many things I have done in my life that I would not ever tell somebody they should do. I have been a marathon runner. I would never tell anybody they should run marathons. That shit is hard as hell, painful, and pretty fucked up. I would never tell anybody to do it. I would never tell anybody they should get married. These are things you have to choose for yourself. A life of autonomy as a woman and an entrepreneur, you have to choose it for yourself. It has to be something deep inside of you that's calling you to it. No one can tell you. I am the mother of a child who has special needs. I remember when I first gave birth to my child, there was a woman that I knew for a while, and she came up to me and she was like, I had a child and I got a diagnosis that they were going to have special needs, and I couldn't do it. I had an abortion. And I was like, that is a fine choice. Like, you got to live with your life. This is your life to live and your life to create. And the choices I have made have been mine. And I have suffered for them, and I have expanded because of them, and I have had profound joy and deep loss because of them. But they are mine. I have made them. They are my choices. And I can't blame anyone else. I can't call anyone else's name. They have been mine. And the rest of my life will be mine to choose like this, the same way. And so this life, this work is that. If you have the courage, And now is a time on the planet where courage is required, where courage is a demand, where courage is a request. And with this sun in Leo, with the Mercury retrograde, not only courage, but confidence in yourself, confidence in your connection to yourself. And so the work that we're doing is to build these things. You got to build it. You might not have it. There are things that I have now that I didn't have. There's stuff that I still struggle with. Like, I still have an interesting experience with faith. And it's so interesting because I have Jupiter conjunct my sun. It's like, bitch, you should be the most faithful person, and you're Pisces rising. What is the problem? Why are you like I always shake? I'm always like, I run a lot of energy through my body, and I'm very sensitive. And so the energy that runs through me, I have been translating as fear, and it interrupts the faith experience. But I know that about myself, right? So you have to really understand yourself, because this age of Aquarius is demanding it. You have to know your shadow, your challenges, your weaknesses. And while we're with this Mercury retrograde in Leo, it's really a reprogramming of our heart space. It's a reprogramming of your ability to be yourself, to love yourself, to trust yourself, to have confidence, to shine, it's all of that. And we're in a very vulnerable energy right now. We're in a very vulnerable energy where anything could go. Anything. It's one of those energies where anything is possible right now. Anything is possible. And so the work for me personally is grounding into my practice, grounding into my body, grounding into my knowing to my best ability, to the best of my ability. Trusting and knowing that when it's time for me to act, I will know exactly what to do. I will know exactly what to do, to be at peace with the uncertain, to be at peace with the unknown, and to trust that it will unfold as it is meant. Okay, I said a lot, you all. If you need support, you can book your readings at healwithmoonmama.com. You can find my website there. I'm going to start offering workbooks on each sun cycle to support us in how do we embody these energies, because there's more energy and more light coming in, and so it requires having new practices and new ways of being. So my first seasonal Virgo season booklet workbook will be here soon, like in the next couple of days probably, and I will have one every every month for Virgo season, Libra season, Scorpio season, because the energies are changing now, and so we will need to upgrade ourselves. We have to upgrade our frequency, and so I am going to be sharing rituals and practices to support us in doing that, and information so that we can begin to track how to be with these energies. Birthday vibes, that's a good way to bring. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. And Virgo is the harvest season, so it's all about harvest in Virgo. And I'm having my event. So we're having an event. The event is on Sunday. If you are here in Los Angeles, and if you haven't purchased your ticket, if you have not purchased your ticket yet, please do. We have very limited space, and the tickets are selling out. So I think right now we might only have 6 or 7 tickets left. So if you've not purchased your tickets, go to my Linktree, purchase your ticket, and I would love to see you. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I love you so much. Bye-bye.